Then teach me about bazongas.
I can barely hear you. You have to mean it.
Teach me about bazongas!
It wasn't so long ago that Western Tales fans were getting the shaft, but recent developments indicate Namco Bandai might be changing its tune. The long-awaited Tales of Xillia finally arrives in North America, and its sequel, already released in Japan, is confirmed to be coming stateside sometime in 2014. Now that we're finally getting the first of these anticipated titles, will it be worth the 2-year wait?
It only makes sense for priorities to change. The data is safe after all.
Xillia has players step into the role of one of 2 lead characters, each with a slightly unique perspective on the way you progress through the game's story. A tale about how spirits and mankind must find a way to coexist peacefully or face dire consequences. Certain events and narrative elements are only experienced by Milla or Jude, letting you get specific insight into the motivations or story secrets, or what have you.
You're not much of a team player.
There's no need to worry that you're missing out on key portions of the game's narrative, though, and with the exception of a few crucial moments, you have the freedom to change between your cast of characters as you please, just like in previous installments. Being able to choose from 2 leads is a nice touch, and could help motivate you to play through the game twice, but the story develops in much the same way regardless.
What do you think you're doing?
Where could it be hiding? That little treasure of yours.
The game's cast is comprised mostly of enjoyable personalities that grow on you as the story progresses, and Xillia's narrative flows well for most of the game. Even so, there are a few twists that will leave your head spinning. It's a story that gets off to a strong start and develops nicely, but just when it feels the game is winding down, you're hit with a major new plot point out of nowhere. Though there's a proper resolution to the main arc that feels satisfying, some elements do feel rushed.
Wahey!
In setting the stage for this latest tale, Xillia forgoes a vast overworld map and instead offers larger, interconnected environments. This gives exploration a more natural, physical feel. Some areas let you climb surfaces, and there are countless items tucked away in treasure chests waiting to be unearthed. But other zones end up feeling mostly flat and devoid of significant geography.
Whoa! Don't go shouting things like that!
Despite regular changes of scenery, there often isn't much else to do in these broader environments than fight monsters, although the loot and raw materials scattered out in the open do help keep you engaged. The game also lets you revisit any previously explored location with a quick and easy warp to cut down on the backtracking.
The big bearded meanie didn't follow us, did he?
It might seem long overdue, but side quests play a more integral role and are now easier than before to undertake, track, and complete. By interacting with certain NPCs, you'll embark on quests that range from typical fetch quests to more significant tasks that reward you with deeper insight into characters and the world around them. The other reward is loot and gold, but experience points are off the table. Instead, the only way to level up is the old-fashioned way through battles.
As expected from the Chimeriad.
Can't imagine fighting them all at once.
We'd still win, no matter what.
Previous Tales games are notorious for their challenge, even on easier difficulty settings, but Xillia is a cakewalk for the most part on the normal difficulty. The only real danger comes during boss encounters, which put your skills to the test. But while you need to reload a previous save game if your party falls to a normal group of enemies, you can retry from the beginning of that battle if you wipe during a boss fight. If you want to be truly tested in battle, you might want to turn the difficulty up to hard. The proper tools will ensure you get the job done. Better gear and weapons won't simply appear in shops as you progress through the story. Instead, you have to upgrade your shops by leveling them up. This is accomplished by donating raw materials, gold, or by purchasing inventory. Not only do you unlock new items, but the price of existing wares will decrease. You might think this could break the game. Access to more powerful weapons earlier could make the game too easy, and focusing on just one shop could paint you into a corner. But the flexible system puts the player in control and seems reasonably balanced.
Since we were together constantly, he was able to fill me with loads of mana.
I had no idea you were that kind of man.
Milla, wait!
Whatever you're wearing, you'll regularly have to storm into battles and prove your mettle. Real-time combat is the name of the game for those unfamiliar with Tales' battle system, with your 4 characters squaring off with enemies on a 3-dimensional battlefield. You only control a single character at a time, but you can actively switch between party members to take direct control of their actions. Additionally, you can now swap out any one of your active party members with a reserve mid-battle, giving you even greater strategic flexibility. Strategy is definitely important, and Tales games have always boasted complex customization options for how your AI-controlled party members behave in battle. Xillia is no exception, and in fact, it takes things one step further by introducing a link system that allows you to pair up two party members in battle. These choices greatly alter their tactics. Allies can try to flank the enemy you're attacking, cover your back, or provide direct assistance. Changing links in battle is as simple as tapping a button, and links can be just as easily deactivated at any time. This new system is reflective of how Tales battles are some of the most rewarding in any RPG, but the complex set of skills and abilities might overwhelm newcomers. Performing basic combos is fairly simple, but when you start diving into your powerful techniques known as arts, and linking them with other characters' abilities to produce even more ridiculously powerful attacks, things get far more complicated. Thankfully, there are plenty of tutorials that explain everything if you're feeling a bit lost or need a refresher.
What are you so afraid of? We'll just have our military equipped with the same technology.
While the overall game is impressive, it's not without a few flaws. Xillia prides itself on intelligent character AI, but the same can't be said for its enemies. Monsters in the field are quick to react, but their predictable and lethargic movements are easy to exploit. Enemies fare much better once the battle starts, but they usually aren't smart enough to feel truly threatening.
Who's next?
The game's soundtrack and voice work is mostly superb despite a few odd audio mixing issues, where voices or music sound too quiet, even with the in-game volume cranked all the way up. The subtitle option also seems to have slipped through the QA cracks, appearing during some lines of dialogue but not others, popping up occasionally even if you've purposely turned them off.
Oh, whoa. Massages are not bad at all.
I know, right?
What is going on with these two?
Much like its predecessors before it, Xillia dons gorgeous visuals that breathe life into its anime-influenced aesthetic. However, the game suffers from some ridiculous pop-up issues. You can walk into a town that initially appears devoid of human life, only to see NPCs and environmental objects begin to appear one by one over the next several seconds. The problem occurs so frequently that it's hard to ignore, taking you out of the otherwise extremely well-realized world.
Do you just want to hear me say it? Is that what you're into?
Someone tell me what is going on with these spirits.
Despite its minor aesthetic problems and the need to tread across boring expanses to reach the truly interesting moments, Tales of Xillia is an enjoyable RPG experience. It's a vast improvement over its predecessor, Tales of Graces, but it doesn't quite surpass the excellence found in Tales of Vesperia. Though it's clear the franchise is undergoing a few growing pains as it aspires to shed some of its archaic elements, Tales of Xillia is a wonderful RPG with great writing and an amazing battle system. The future of Tales is looking bright indeed.
I am proud of the path I have chosen.